Yo, what's good guys, it's
Tyson.
and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Keshi type beat like Band-Aids. Without further ado,
let's get right into it. So honestly, these kinds of beats are very simple. I'd say myself, I'm probably like a high beginner or a low level intermediate guitar player, so this is my very scuffed way of recording guitar as somebody who's not very skilled. So first thing I did is play in the bass notes. So here they are. This is in the key of F sharp minor, so I'm doing a 1, so the F sharp minor 7, 6, major 6 I believe. Yeah, D major 7, which is the 6 of the scale, and then I do A major 7, which is the 3 of the scale, and then an F diminished 7, which is, I believe, the sharp 7 of the scale. Honestly, I'm not sure of the terminology, but essentially, since we're in F sharp minor, the F chord, especially the F diminished 7 chord, is like very tense, which is the key to capturing the dark Keshi vibe. Using sharp 7 chords, I think, is necessary for those kind of chord progressions. He does it in other songs as well, like Skeletons. Not to say that you need that chord for every dark or sad song, but if you're going for the Band-Aids vibe, pretty necessary in my opinion. Next I will show you the strumming. Yeah, here's how the strumming sounds on its own. Yeah, so if you play the guitar, I'm pretty sure that'll be pretty simple to figure out. It's just like a down, up, down strum. I guess I'll explain a little bit about my recording process as well. So you can see there's 2 takes of everything. Like these bass notes, I got them panned 40 left, 40 right, so that they are like on opposite ends, making it sound kind of wider, but not like completely to the other side. I don't know, it just sounded good. It's just like a guitar recording technique, or just a recording technique in general, really, called doubling. Pretty self-explanatory, I think. Just makes anything you record with a mic sound more full. And since I'm not that great at the guitar and my chord changes aren't fast or smooth enough to record something like this in one take, even if I were able to, I'd probably still do doubles anyways, but I can't do the chord changes very smoothly. I recorded you don't really even need the bass notes, but I think this is just like a nice way to capture some of the, I guess, kind of string noises that the guitar makes when you're doing the chord changes. Like it kind of emulates that if you listen to this. Like those little string noises. If I were to have that, if I were not to have it and it was just the strumming, I think that it would sound pretty like choppy and or just fake. I don't even know how else to explain it. I think just having a layer of continuous playing, just one take, kind of helps it sound more authentic. That's like another big thing for making a like live sounding kind of acoustic beat like this. Like you need it to sound authentic, which luckily is pretty easy since you don't have to clean up too much noise, as I'll show you something kind of cool in a second. Wait, I'll just let this play. Yeah, so in these takes, like if you listen really carefully, so in the background, like you can hear like the background noises of like my house, and like if you have like headphones on and you're listening like on a higher volume, like you can even hear like my cat like wanting to come in my room, just meowing outside my door. So that's one thing you can do to help get the authenticity needed for one of these really intimate types of beats. I honestly think it's worse if you record it in a room that's like super acoustically treated. Like my room isn't that noisy, and there's some stuff like to absorb sound, like not any panels or anything, like literally just my bed. But you know, like a relatively quiet room that's still gonna get some noise, I think is the best kind of room to record in for a kind of beat like this. And the other thing is, like, I recorded this on a condenser mic, which I think helps me get like a kind of a brighter recording, which just gives me more control of what I do afterwards, because it's kind of like, it's clean enough and it's bright. If you were to record this on something like a dynamic microphone or just like your iPhone, I don't know how good Android mics are. I'm sure they're pretty good, I just don't own one. But honestly, I think that'd capture the vibe. But you'd probably need to be in a room that's a little bit more treated, because yeah, obviously condenser microphones help whatever it's picking up to cut through noise a little better. But if you're recording on like a mobile device microphone, it's probably going to be a little more noisy than you want. But I mean, if it sounds good, it sounds good, right? Like that's the moral of the story pretty much all of the time. So there's really only 2 more layers, which is definitely like the most simple breakdown, or one of the more simple breakdowns I've ever done. So here's the 3rd layer. Okay, so the thought process kind of behind this is when you hear Keshi strumming in the song, obviously it's very detailed because like he's a great guitarist and like he's strumming and kind of picking at the same time, but I can't do that, right? So what I just did is just layer it with the strumming so that it sounds kind of like I can, right? Like, well, not really, but it sounds good. Honestly, like I'd show you like the tabs or whatever. First of all, I don't even know how to make tabs. Second, I was probably just either picking random notes on like the highest 2 strings, so like the high E and the B string. The other thing I might have been doing is playing like chord tones in the chord shape that was there. Honestly, just do whatever sounds good. I'm bad at the guitar, to be honest, so your take will be just as good as mine. A couple other things I should mention before the last little bit is for a beat like this, you're going to want different sort of rhythmic different rhythmic sections in your beat, because obviously since there's no drums in this and it's just relying on melody and arrangement, the most simple way to keep it interesting, and something that Keshi actually does, is to keep relatively the same chord progression, but to just add maybe a couple other chords, or just change the order of them, and to add a little bit of a new rhythm. So here's what I did for mine. So all I did is right before the F diminished 7 chord, I play an E7 chord, which is it? No, it's the... Yeah, so that's the natural 7 of the F sharp minor scale. I don't know if that's the correct term. Anyways, it's just different, you know, a new section. Also a pretty, it's another pretty tense chord. Not as tense as the F diminished 7, but, you know, pretty tense chord. Another thing I'm doing is here in the bass is I'm just playing the bass notes, and instead of, what's the term? I think I was playing whole notes in the first section. Now I'm playing half notes, so yeah. So each of those notes just takes up 2 beats each. So I'm just speeding it up a little bit. Honestly, the strumming is the same, and like ideally, if you can, you want to play it like all the way through in one take. But you know, I think that this sounds like rhythmically different enough from this. You know, it's just like a little bit higher energy, plus you got the new chord. You know, it just makes it feel like it's kind of like driving the beat forward a little bit. That's kind of it for the guitar. I'll talk about all of the mixing stuff at the end because it's pretty unique, I'd say, for what Keshi did on Band-Aids. Anyways, next I'm going to talk about the piano. Now, you know what? That yap session is gonna go before. Let me just show you the piano on its own. Here it is. Okay, so as you can see, I did also punch in the piano, same as the guitar, just, you know, playing each chord and each melody note in its kind of own take. I am better at the piano than I am at the guitar, but, you know, for the sake of just making something quickly, I'm not the greatest freeform player, so this is something I'd have to practice. So, you know, instead of that, I just found voicings that I liked for the chords, and then I just inputted them. It's a lot faster than clicking it in, especially because you don't want your piano to be on the grid at all for this kind of sound. As you can hear in Band-Aids, there's like before the downbeat of the chorus where the piano comes in, the piano kind of like glides into the chorus. Like you can hear it kicking in like before the downbeat. So what you're gonna want to do is just yeah, honestly, I think this is why it's best to just play it in, because then you could just listen along to how the song is going and like start it when right before the downbeat of the chorus, like this. It's definitely doable on MIDI as well, but to just make it sound authentic, like that just sounds like so tedious to me. Like, look at this. I can't make this up by clicking in notes. Like, I literally played this in and left it. Like, I might have changed a few velocities throughout all of these, but in general, like, I played it in, I maybe moved it like a little bit further or back so that the highest notes are hitting close to like the downbeat of the grid. Because without it doing that, it would just sound offbeat. That's why it's able to come in so early and still sound on beat, because the notes leading up to the highest note are like it's kind of like a drum fill in a way, and the highest notes are like the crash. So that's what's helping it to stay sounding like it's still in time. The piano notes or the chords are obviously the same as like the chords for the guitar, but I was just finding like voicings that I like. So just playing around on the keyboard and being like, for example, this is the highest note in the first chord. How do I want the next chord to sound in relation to that? You know, it's kind of like a melody on its own. So just finding, well, obviously it's a melody, but just finding what would sound pretty, right? So you're just playing the notes on the keyboard higher or lower based on honestly just vibes, right? But that is definitely something you want to think about. You don't just want to play the chords in root position, because that'd sound pretty clunky and inauthentic, which is exactly what you don't want to capture the vibe. Also, in Keshi's song, he does like a little piano outro with a new chord progression, but I've done a piano outro in other type beats that I've done because I think it's like a cool thing to do. But when making like a Band-Aids type beat, like I'm not trying to recreate Band-Aids like one for one, right? Like, I don't know, that's biting, right? Like, gotta do a bit of it, but like you wanna try staying original. So what I have in the outro instead is this vinyl ambience. So basically you just want to go off of vibes, right? I forgot to show you the processing, right? Because this is really important. So the mix on Band-Aids is super unique, and it definitely adds to the kind of intimate vibe of the track. It's very like mid-range sounding, and there isn't too much of like a pronounced low end in it. It almost sounds like it's coming through a phone, like a really good phone, but still a phone. So I'll show you what I did to kind of get the piano to sound like this. right? Okay, so here's it without any of this. Like, right? But, so basically, I just, softening it up a little bit with this reverb, just dampening it. Then I got this, stereo widening or whatever plugin, right? And then I think this is the most important part, just cutting out the low end and boosting the more mid-range sounding frequencies. I think those are like the most essential things you're gonna need to kind of get that vibe. Then I just got this plugin. It's not really essential, but it's like helping my piano sound more full, and yeah, just OTT just kind of helping me push it more into the foreground of the beat, so it's not really getting buried by anything, right? I don't think the guitar processing is too crazy. No, like this is just like my normal guitar chain for acoustic. I use some of these same plugins for electric as well, but noise suppressor, compressor, some Pro Q3 presets for the acoustic guitar. This, I guess, is just like a low cut and a little boost. This is, I think, just cutting out some resonance. Using this saturator, something I learned from Issa and JLo. Just helps my guitar sound more crisp, and it's kind of doing the same thing the OTT is doing to the piano. It's kind of just helping it to be more pronounced in the mix. And then I guess just like after all of this processing and especially saturation that might bring out some more low end, I just got another low cut here. That's like all of the mixing I got on the guitars. That's honestly it. That was a relatively simple one, I think, but I recently did another type beat inspired by something off of Band-Aids. It's something on my channel called Lost. Definitely less of you inspired, so I can do a tutorial of that next. Yeah, I think there's more to cover in that as well, so yeah, hope this helped, and thanks for watching.